vibe, you know, you as a reggae entertainer being there for him, your fellow artist?
Well, this was the epitome of Babylon at its greatest peak. You know, enough time you hear the Rastaman talk about Babylon, but this was the peak of it. Just to say, my fellow musician, I'm a brethren, my brother, Buju, you know, being, you know, questioned and this proof being that they have on tape and the phone calls and to go through all of that, and the energy in the room was very, very tense. You know, because no one wants to see that, and at the same time, you know, what you saw, it is what it is. I mean, we can only speak about certain things because I'm wise enough not to incriminate myself.
Right.
So, very smart move. Yes.
So, but when you see certain things and you watch the video and you know, you can see that this man was pushing this man for 5 months.
Yeah.
You meet this man doing what he does best, being the vice of Jamaica, coming from tour and from Madrid to Jamaica, and this man and Buju was friends. They was like, you know, you meet somebody up on a plane and you want them to kick off a relationship. I have several relationships that I met people on the plane.
Right.
And we just kicked off and the vibe was nice.
Right.
This was that situation. So the guy happened to be from Colombia and the man said, yo, cocaine, Carl. From man said Jamaica, we said ganja.
Right.
So Colombia, cocaine. Italy, mafia.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, so it's that thing where after this, you have the coca. And then from that, the guy just kept on pushing it. Well, of course, now, you know, the man is on trial. So if he's on trial for being talking, then he's guilty. You know what I'm saying? But, and then if even at the same time, if he wants to be an alcoholic, then he's guilty. Then Buju's an alcoholic, based on what I saw in the video.
Right.
And even at the same time, you can call him a cokehead if you want to.
Right.
Because I did see him taste the coke. I saw that for myself. But he wasn't like, give me some of that. It was just like, boom, you just dab him on and just, and that was it. And so guilty of that, yes. But to be a drug seller and a organizer, two different things. And that's the difference in the court of law in America, where you have to have unreasonable doubt proof. And that's one of the good things and bad things of America.
How was Buju Banton? What was his expressions like? How was he taking things?
When he first got in the scene, he's a warrior. He's one of the firmest and firmest man in spirit that I know. You know,
very militant.
The father and you know the Rastafari movements and the Nyabingi Turk tribe and Bobo Shanti movements, where we strive for militancy, and that was evident in the courtroom that those 4 or 5 days that I was there. And you know, some like when they put him on the day of the stand, you know, it broke my heart because you know his whole life is in front of him. Here, this man with I'm children, and you know, in music ahead of him, and Buju's, if you know Buju Bones, you know, music is everything
to him, yeah.
And to see that is about to be taken away, it's a wake-up call for him even too, you know, because, you know, if you know Buju, he can get a little wild too. He's like, Buju's my little brother, and that's why the relationship is what it is. But he needs to be tamed at sometimes, and we realize that. And him no say mess up, and, you know, I was asking everybody to just pray for him.
Yeah.
Right. I think we can bring the immigration
Sherna
lawyer
Spencer.
in.
Sherna Spencer, we want to welcome you. She's an immigration lawyer. And, of course, she dabbles a bit into the music also. Sherna, welcome. Is she there, Sherna? Sherna Spencer, are you there?
All right, we're going to try calling Sherna.
Connect with her.
But in the meantime, were you in court at the time when the verdict was read, you know, a mistrial?
No, I wasn't there. I had a show in Jamaica, the Mystic Mountain, and I had to come to my work, and I said, well, I'm going to do your work, youth. This guy, I love him, you know? He's my brother. I mean, I have 16 brothers, but Buju is the 17th, you know?
Right, and we know that you toured with him as well.
Yes, he was the first one to take me on my solo tour.
That was the last tour he did before being.
Exactly, yes.
Well, Buju is a soldier. Buju is a man who really knows how to have a good time, too.
Yeah, it was amazing that day when he went on the stand, when they called him on the witness stand, and he began to talk. I felt proud as a Rasta man. I felt proud as a friend and as a reggae musician. Just to hear him, the way him conduct himself, it blew away the court. The court was like, wow, this man is really intelligent.
Yeah, he is. Very.
You have some Rasta man where really know how to conduct themselves. If you ever did an interview with Sizzla, very intelligent, Cape Town.
Yeah.
So, you know, Rasta man, we're intelligent people who can talk and reason.
That is true. He has no problem expressing himself and bringing his points across.
Say that he was nervous.
Right.
Well, it would be.
I can just imagine like the tension. How would you describe that?
It was tense. Donovan Jeremian was there from Pentos Records, and every time we got a break, everybody was like, "Wow, this is like, because this is our friend being, interviewed by Babylon." So it was a rough time.
All right, we're going to welcome Sherna Spencer, the immigration lawyer. She's online with us now. Sherna, welcome. Sherna, you there?
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you.
Thanks for joining us. Sherna, can you speak to Buju Banton's current situation? Basically, there is a bail hearing slated for October 6th. And at the same time, we have information that Buju's entertainment visa
is gone.
Right.
So what it would be applying for bail make any sense if he can be out and about? Tell us how sensible is that, or is it worth anything for him to be applying for bail if his immigration status is he can't be that one about free in the country?
Right.
Well, I think they're taking a two-tiered approach, so to speak. They're seeking to have him come out on bond. If he's able to obtain the bond in the criminal court, then now he of course would be turned over to the Department of Homeland Security. At that point, then they could then ask for him to, once some proceedings were commenced against him in the immigration context, another bond could be requested on his behalf in that particular arena. So at that point, then some of the same questions would come up in the immigration bond issue, and they would be pretty much whether he would be considered of slight risk or danger to the community, and what the likelihood of him being able to, and what would be his interest in coming to the court if he were to be released. And so those are two major issues that one would consider. So the immigration judge who would be listening to that case, or the removal officer first would have a crack at it, and then of course an immigration judge will be looking at these factors as well. So I think they're taking a step one approach, asking the federal court to release him. Then if that happens, then they'll just go to the next step after, see if they could get him on a bond on the second tier in the immigration court context, and go from there.
But what the concern I've been wondering is, let us say that he's even in the immigration section now and he gets a bond there. I mean, what would that say in terms of knowing his status where he is now without a proper visa or anything like that? What would be what would be the next step?
Yes, generally what should happen is that the immigration ICE could then determine that they need him. He's a material witness. He is needed for his court case to be here. So at that point, they could issue him a document, a parole document, that would allow him to remain here while his case is pending. I mean, that's the best of all situations.
Good. Okay. At least that clears that up. Okay.
Right. So there is a good possibility that he may not remain in behind bars until December, when his trial, the retrial, is expected to begin.
Well, the release, there are about 14 conditions that the federal court or the federal judge would be looking at when they would be, thinking about releasing, him on bond. There, with some conditions, of course. There are a couple of them that they would be thinking about. For example, in the past, judges have released persons on the condition that there's someone there to supervise them. For example, that the person is employed. For example, that there are other restrictions or places that the person would be required not to go to or not to travel. For example, outside of the jurisdiction, avoiding contact with certain, people or something like that. For example, witnesses to the event and so on. So there are different conditions that could occur if the judge decides, okay, I am going to release this person. The judge could also say, look, I'm going to release you without conditions. That's also possible. If there are conditions, there are about 14 articulated used in this type of case to determine if a release will occur. And of course, as I said earlier, the overriding factors that the person, appears to be a risk of life or danger to the community.
But Sharna, what would the penalty be? Say, for example, based on the conditions, there is a breach.